Hey everybody, welcome. It's the Suzette Speaks show live. Happy Thursday. It is a cool, I can't say cold anymore because North Florida is definitely taking the medal for the coldest places in Florida. But I want to welcome you. This is the Suzette Speaks show live where we cover headline news, of course, social media, trends, and of course, news you can use. I have a special guest with me today in studio. I know y'all want me to talk about this politics, but I told you already, I'm not going to let Donald Trump stress me out because of everything that happened. I will do a recap, of course, tomorrow, but I wanted to just take a moment to breathe and think about, positive thoughts, good vibrations, and just try to transcend a little bit of what's going on in the world. Therefore, I took the liberty of inviting a very special guest to join me today. He's an author, business owner, father of four. Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Father of four. I cannot believe it. Listen, he looks so good, y'all. You wouldn't even be able to tell. But he's also a newly minted author. He just completed a wonderful book. Actually, he's been on a book tour, so I can't say just, but this is pretty new for us. So, and I love to celebrate talent in South Florida because we have a lot of talent down here, but I just don't think it gets highlighted enough. And we tend to think, oh, Atlanta got it going on, New York got it going on, whatever. But we have some wonderfully talented people down here. So again, if you're just joining me for the first time, I'm Suzette Speaks. I come on every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Voice of the Caribbean. And without further ado, I want to introduce to you Mr. Leighton O. Campbell. Bah, bah. I don't have no soundtracks.
No soundtrack?
Bang, bang, boom, bang. This is how we do it. So if you're watching online, shout out to Rose and other people I see watching on the app. I'm going to stop pointing into the YouTube fam's face. But we like to do it for the community. So you can always call if you have questions about today's hot topic. And today's hot topic is happiness. How to pursue it, how to achieve it, how to keep it. Listen, there are a lot of unhappy people, and I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm not calling you out. This is a hard time we're living in. People are stressed. People are being pressed on every side. So to maintain happiness, and the name of his book is called The Happiness Equation.
Your happiness.
Your happiness. Come on, Susie. Come on. I knew it. Listen, it's in my notes. Your happiness equation. So he is an authority. He has spent time thinking about postulating and, of course, putting it into writing. So we welcome him again. How are you, Leighton?
I'm doing excellent.
I'm so grateful that you're here.
Doing well, yeah.
Did you ever live in New York?
Of course, like most Jamaicans, the first stop is New York.
Listen, I was a baby. I don't remember them type of weather here. So I was a little nervous yesterday when I woke up. I was like, okay, God, I will be working from home today because it's too cold. But Leighton, I want to welcome you and I want to thank you. You have an amazing book out. You guys can find out more information at yourhappinessequation.com.
Yourhappinesseq.com.
God,
we
EQ.
have both of them just.
Okay, so for that reason. And you know what? When I was posting today on Instagram and I was posting today on LinkedIn and Facebook and, making sure everybody knew about the show, I did put Your Happiness Equation first. And then I read his email. I was like, no, it's Your Happiness EQ. So you can find it at both. The smart man. They bought both just in case people do what I do. But first and foremost, let us get to know you a little bit more. So tell us about yourself, please.
So born in Jamaica, family left when I was very young, 3 months old. So I don't remember Jamaica, although I've been back countless times since then. New York for 6 years, and then family moved down to Broward County.
Okay.
So this is where I went through elementary, middle, high school, graduated Cooper City High School.
Oh, fantastic.
Then went to University of Florida.
Go Gators.
Okay. We connected for a moment.
Yeah.
After that, worked at Morgan Stanley as a financial advisor on the west coast of Florida. Did that for 4 years, then went to another company where I did commercial insurance. And then I opened my own commercial insurance agency back here down in Broward County, and I've had that for 13 years now.
That's fantastic. What a talented brother. And he happens to also be a husband. Yeah, throw that out there because the ladies listening like, hey, what we got going on? I knew when I posted the flyer, I should have probably put that in the caption. Husband.
Well, my wife liked all the...
Miss said, no, good man there. Good man is out here in the streets. Again, this is Suzette Speaks, speaking to author Leighton O. Campbell. He is the author of a new book called Your Happiness Equation. Your Happiness Equation. So it's such an intriguing title. We wanted to get in, so a little deep waters. Today, people are, again, if you're listening on your lunch break, shout out to you. If you're listening on YouTube, on the app, you can always download us, Voice of the Caribbean is the app as well. And voiceofthecaribbean.com. If you want to watch it, some people are tuned in looking at my little outfit, baby. I wore good clothes because I wanted us to take good pictures.
Hey,
He made me dress up, put on my little leather jacket and all of that. My pleather. But anyway, so South Florida warm, y'all. So we're here. Like I said, I'm saving some of the news and the politics for tomorrow. You guys know I have a big voice. When I say Suzette Speaks, trust me, I will be speaking. But today we're taking a pause to talk more about introspective, inside of your heart, inside of your mind, inside of your life, what happiness looks like. So what made you decide to write a book about happiness?
well, it all started from a conversation I had with my kids. We were sitting around talking, and I was like, let's see if we can come up with an equation for happiness. So we have all types of crazy conversations, and nothing's off limit, and we go pretty deep on some things. So they're throwing out ideas. I'm kind of quarterbacking everything. And then at the end of it, I look at what I have, and I'm like, man, this seems pretty powerful. Like there's something here. So I've been a member of BNI for 13 years. Since I opened my business, I've been a member of BNI. And at the time, I was the educational coordinator.
So pause. So there are a lot of people because we're educating the people, edutaining them, and this is what Suzette Speaks is about.
Sure.
So BNI, for people who don't know, is a group that meets every month, or you have breakfast every week, or how does it work?
It's weekly.
Weekly.
Yeah. So BNI it stands for Business Networkers International. I've been in it for 13 years. It's absolutely changed my life and business. I've made a ton of money doing it. If you are in business, or if you're like a salesperson, or you're responsible for bringing in business to your company, you should consider finding a BNI chapter in Broward County. We're one of probably 40 chapters, so they're all over the place.
Miami, Palm Beach, anybody listening in our area, Fort Pierce, overseas Orlando, overseas. Wow,
yeah, it's everywhere. It's
so they meet monthly, and what does it do for you?
So basically, it's a way to build your business through referrals. So what you do is you join the group, you get to know everyone gets to know you, and then the purpose of the group is to exchange business, to exchange referrals between people. But as opposed to like handing referrals to someone you may not know well, these are people at this point that I've known for over a decade, and they're like my family. So when I send a referral to someone, I know they're going to take care of them, and they have like an obligation to do it because of like the rules and the ethos of the group. So when I get referrals, my BNI referrals are my most prized referrals. I have to take care of them because I know my reputation in the group is going to depend on that.
I love it. It's like friends who do business together. Yeah. So over time, as you meet with folks pretty much weekly, you get to know them, you become friendly, and you are hopefully referring business to them in whatever area of business they operate in.
Sure.
And over time, you help to build their book of business, and they help you. BNI is a fantastic program. I've never joined it, but I know a lot of people, just like you, speak very highly of it.
Yeah.
And it's life-changing.
It's my secret recipe to success in business. I mean, business is really hard, and it's great to have, in my chapter and in many other chapters, you have some of the heaviest hitters in Broward County that are in these chapters. And for example, my CPA, Arthur Palermo, he has thrown me a book launch party.
Oh no!
The price tag on it, I don't even want to know how much it is.
Oh,
it's going to be a really big
number. So you're going to give us information. Can I go? Can people go, or is it RSVP only?
Yeah, it's RSVP.
Okay, we're not going to put it on.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll put it
out.
So
back to the book. Back to the book. We're not.
But yeah, it's
beautiful.
He would not have done that unless we had a relationship. That we had, but that's come from being.
So that's beautiful. So this is a relational person I'm sitting with, Leighton O. Campbell, author of Your Happiness Equation. He's talking about his experience in business, but of course it has led him all of his wonderful travels. And I didn't properly read your bio, but just looking at his bio, he's been to the 7 wonders of the world.
Correct. Yeah.
And that includes what?
All right. So Machu Picchu in Peru, Chichen Itza in Mexico, the Colosseum in Italy, Petra in Jordan, the Great Wall of China, Taj Mahal in India, and I always lose the last one.
That's okay. Sure, but it probably might be somewhere.
Christ the Redeemer in Brazil.
Oh wow! Yeah. So listen, I need to get some more passport stamps to keep up with this brother, but I want you to just know a little bit more about him so you can understand not only why he's a reputable person that you can trust in terms of his analysis of what we're going to talk about, happiness, but you need people again like himself who are leaders, who have lived a little, who have raised kids, 4 to be exact, who have traveled, who have started businesses and grown them. This is important because I always say within our community, a lot of people who are I don't know, being made famous should not be made famous. God forgive me. It's not for me to say. You just gotta believe in yourself half the time. I tell people all the time as I watch the Republicans, you just believe in yourself because that's half the battle. But really and truly, we have leaders that are quiet, especially here in South Florida, that they mind their business, they handle their business, but they're doing amazing things. So I'm grateful that we get to highlight one of those people today. He's with me right here in studio, Mr. Leighton O. Campbell. He has a new book out. You can find more information, yourhappinesseq.com, yourhappinesseq.com. And we're talking about happiness, and he was telling us about the origin of the project. So we're talking about happiness. And I want you to define your terms. As an attorney, I always start with people have different definitions of happiness.
Of course.
And I just know that it's elusive no matter how you define it. But how do you define happiness? What is happiness?
So in the book, we're talking about long-lasting happiness as opposed to the emotion of happiness. Because the emotion of happiness is here 1 second and it's gone the next. And it's really hard to build a life of happiness if you're taking these roller coasters of emotion. So the type of happiness that I'm talking about is a deep sense of inner peace and satisfaction at the deepest level of yourself. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm gearing readers towards. That's my definition.
Okay, so he's saying it's not about the high by emotions that I guess a lot of us tend to try to grasp to, like these fleeting emotions of, I got a promotion, yay, I'm happy. I got a raise, or you could even say someone bought me a gift, or I got, quickly through the Publix line. I don't know. There's certain things that make me smile every day. I'm just like, I try to count my blessings in the most profound and most simple ways as well.
Sure.
But I think what you're describing, a deep sense of self-satisfaction, a lot of people have had a hard journey in trying to reach that. So I'm grateful that you're here to kind of break that down a little bit more. So this is not an emotional happiness.
No.
This is what you were describing. It sounds like a more sustained or sustainable or deep-seated within yourself happiness.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned something very important about taking in the small things in life that bring you joy. Now, that is actually good, and that's part of it. But what you're doing is you're not chasing an emotion. You're building a structure, and one of those structures is a structure of gratitude. And that's one of the components of the equation.
All right, so we're going deep, y'all. First of all, I have to comment on your radio voice. I was just like, as I'm listening to him, I'm like, he has a smooth radio voice. I'm here with author Leighton O. Campbell. New book is out there on Amazon. If you are on our social media, you can follow him as well, Your Happiness EQ or Your Happiness Equation. The website is yourhappinesseq.com for more information about the book. But we wanted to give you a taste of stuff that could really change your life. If you really master this, as a brother, just observing you from afar, there's so many people that, when you see a light in them or when you see, something different about them, you want a piece of it. You want to, figure out what is it that they know. And so he was selfless enough to share some of the stuff that he found out. And again, if you're just joining, he talked about how it started with his kids. And his kids, listen, from the mouth of babes, we can get some real good insights about life. Sometimes kids are the most pure, and they can tell you things that you're like, ouch, oh, wait, and give you some good food for thought. But as we're talking about happiness, he's defining it as something from the inside, something much more sustained and non-emotional, something that can be equated to an internalized or originating from within you and sustainable joy, I guess is the best way we can describe it. So he calls this book Your Happiness Equation. So the equation is, for those who don't know math, for those who don't know science, okay, break it down, brother. Well, what is your happiness equation?
I'm actually not going to give the equation.
Okay, can't give me the whole thing.
No, I would. Okay, first of all, in terms of giving things away, your listeners can go online right now to yourhappinesseq.com and take the quiz themselves and get their score right now for free. They don't have to put a credit card in. They don't even have to put an email address in. So the equation is very geeky. It's a numerator, denominator. There's exponents. It's all types of math in there.
Okay, real finance bro, y'all. Real finance.
Very much so. So if I gave you the equation, it would
carry the
one. But they can still
yes.
get their score for free.
Okay.
And I encourage them to do it. But basically, in putting the equation together, and to finish off kind of last part of the story was after the conversation with my children, I went to my BNI chapter and I presented a kind of rudimentary version of the equation, and I was blown away because almost everyone in my chapter, 40 people, either called me, texted me, emailed me about how impactful it was.
Wow.
I had been educational coordinator many times before and since, and I have never gotten a response like that. And
Mm-mm.
walking away from that meeting, I was like, I have to do something with this. And that was 3.5 years later, and fully researched, fully,
Yeah, did your homework.
did my homework,
And then put
and
it in a book and said, listen, I got the secret. Wait, listen. You heard it here first, y'all. This is author Leighton O. Campbell. He's with me right here, Voice of the Caribbean, Suzette Speaks live exclusive. Yeah. So he has a free a survey that you could take
yeah,
that
quiz
you could
online.
do online. I'm gonna do it
You should.
because I don't be knowing if I'll be happy sometimes because sometimes people do throw you off. I pride myself in trying not to be influenced or let my character be shifted by other people's behavior. It is the hardest thing to do
Yeah.
because these people will try you,
Oh
whether
yeah.
it's in my legal practice. Yes, y'all. People ask me, do I still practice law? Yes, I do. I do personal injury. And if you ever in an accident, you know who to call, right? Hospital, sickness, anything like that. Anything go wrong, you can't call me. Well, anyway, but when it comes to dealing, on a day-to-day basis with human beings, I don't know if it's a South Florida thing, Miami, let's go. Sometimes we lack, civility or decorum and
Yeah.
things that kind of push your buttons. But beyond that, when you sit down and think about your life, especially those of us who are getting up there of a certain age, hello, somebody, when we think about happiness, there's a lot of comparison.
Yeah.
And people are looking at, especially I was watching a post today, and I don't want to get in my business, but I'm still very single, hallelujah. But I was watching a post about, black women being late bloomers and defining what that means, and is it really late, or in the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Now we're getting deep, y'all. If y'all know what I'm talking about, if you did a little
Psychology.
psychology, you'll know that you have your safety needs, your basic needs, your food, water, etc. Then the belonging, and then you go up a little bit more, and you eventually get to self actualize. And I was listening to a commentator today on it was on Instagram, that wonderful tool we use sometimes to see what people are thinking. But anyway, he was saying that especially in households where you might have less economically, where you don't have the same educational opportunity, or when people are depending on you as a college graduate to help them, you don't necessarily get to the self-actualization as quickly maybe as other counterparts, right, of different ethnicities or different races. So it's not about late start, it's not even about late blooming, but it's about you trying to be on a journey within yourself to hopefully achieve these things. And sometimes it takes us longer because we have to focus on the economics so much, and we don't get to go to the belonging or the self-love part because we're just trying to survive, we're trying to pay the bills, we're trying to do other things.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about happiness, I'm here with Leighton O. Campbell. He is the author of the brand new book, Your Happiness Equation, Your Happiness EQ. So he's telling us a little bit about the equation. I don't want him to give away the whole thing. He'll be with us again throughout the show. If you have a question, you can call him 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch. 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch if you're on the app. I see you guys on my YouTube. What's going on, Vincent Morales? What's going on, Doug? I see y'all watching. Like the video, comment. All the people watching on the Instagram and other platforms, you know what to do. And if you're listening in your car, big up yourself too. I'm here with this fantastic gentleman who is teaching us about happiness. So my question now is, can everyone be happy? For real, for real.
All right. So this is a hard answer, but the honest answer is no. Okay. So, and this is my opinion. This is not based on any particular study.
But you've researched.
But I've researched
yeah.
and I've lived life.
Yeah.
And everything that I've ever seen really has like a bell curve distribution to it, more or less. So some people are happy regardless of whatever happens to them in life. And then kind of the middle part of the bell curve are people who can be happy as long as they work towards it.
Yeah.
And then you have, now this is probably maybe 2%, I don't know, of the population of the world that
happy.
They just can't be happy. So my doing this project is not trying to, and this is something else I've learned along the way. It's like, I'm not out there trying to give somebody something that they don't want and they're resisting me at every opportunity. Like I'm not trying to convert that person.
Amen.
What I'm trying to do, what would be great, is for some of the people who are in the middle, who think that they can't be happy, but they can if they work at it, if they have certain skills. Those are the people that would be awesome to reach, to have them have this information, to do that work so that they can get what they're seeking.
I agree with you, and I think everybody, and again, just based on the story that he shared about how this came up so organically, I think certain things are divinely inspired, and I think we have a really a testimony with that already that you've shared. That sometimes what you think of as something that is so basic or simplistic or no one can benefit from, sometimes we have to take those things more seriously and try to formalize or put them out in a way. And I also saw another post. I don't know what's going on with my algorithm. My algorithm is popping right now, right? I got off the animals and the birds and the whales and the random safari videos, but I've gotten a lot of self-help videos. And we have to do a show, guys. I keep telling you about how to reframe or reprogram your algorithm, because they will send you foolishness if you let them. But one of the posts that I saw was about the power of being seen and how a lot of your blessings come from putting yourself out there. And I'm just like, you're definitely a walking testimony of that. Because again, you seem very quiet.
I am. This is not my nature.
You're like,
to be out there like this.
What am I doing at the radio? You was on a book tour. We're gonna talk about the book tour in a little bit, but he's been putting himself out there. And again, for those who are listening who need a little bit of inspiration, to put yourself out there and to be seen, whether people like it or they can use it or they agree or they disagree, and that's just human nature. So as he said, I love the way you kind of use that analytical mind of the bell curve. Everybody not on one end or the other, but you have a good middle section of people that possibly could apply what we're talking about. So if you're in that middle, like me, I waver. There are days, like I said, I feel like God is in control. God got my back. We doing it for the people. We're up here. Suzette is going to speak, and we're going to make this happen. And then there are other days where I'm like, Jesus, why my life looks so? How can my bills be this? And I don't feel, as firm or as sure of myself. So as you're saying, and I thank you for your honesty, he doesn't believe everybody necessarily either can or wants to be. But you say it's something that is you can apply. So you don't believe. So for the people that, for example, I think are happy all the time, do you think people are born that way, or is it a mindset condition, or how they were raised in their family? What makes the difference for the bell?
Yeah. I would say those people, it's nature or nurture. I don't really know. But maybe I do think brain chemistry has something to play with it. If you just get that perfect cocktail of brain chemicals where you're just impervious to everything, that's awesome.
God bless you. Yeah.
That's not most people.
No, and that's why I got to tell people too, take your vitamins. A lot of people, their anxiety, again, I was reading online, your anxiety, depression, sometimes it's a lack of iron, lack of vitamin D. Things that we as melanated peoples, we don't even really think about sometimes. The way your mood goes, you have to really think sometimes, do I need my blood work? Must I go get tested and see that everything chemically is also going to allow me so that I can step into the mindset of wanting to be happy, because it's a very, very tough thing. We have a commercial break coming up here, hard break, but we're going to be back more with Leighton O. Campbell, your happiness equation. Don't go nowhere right after this.
FM, Fort Lauderdale.
Flow Jam Legal provides legal services in areas of immigration, family law.
Very good. Very, very good. How you feel? You look poor at this. You look like you're not stressed at all. Yay. So we got 5 minutes, not even 4. So commercials coming. You have to use the restroom or anything? Okay. Sorry, I'm all on the YouTube with the information. Hi. So what I wanted to do is show you the podcast room. Do you have time today? I have not done a new podcast. I'm doing this on YouTube just to show my people that I'm still alive. But I'm gonna turn on the airplanes. Okay. But I wanted to try the podcast where we have 3 different cameras over there and we can do full body. That's why I was trying to look cute, to see if we could try it. Or I was gonna say you could come back another day, maybe a Saturday, but I know you got kids, so I know. So but if you wanted to do a quick 15-minute over there, I just wanted to test it and then do it. If Miss Chin is still here to show me how to do it, I'd like to try that. So I was thinking about it today. I was like, we should just done the full body one. So we might come back YouTube and do a little full body. But
I can also for this book launch thing. If you're open, I can get you in if you.
I would love to
It's
go.
February 13th. It's
I would love to go. No, I was being serious. I'd like.
Brazilian steak.
Where's that gonna be?
That's in Fort Lauderdale.
Wherever it is at.
Capital
I'll
Grill.
support. Let's go. Thank you for it. I was being serious.
Yeah.
February 13th. Yay! That's a big deal. Crossing that threshold is a big deal.
At 7875 West McNabb Road in the city of Tamarack.
Thank God for
Services
friends.
on every Sunday at
Oh, it's some heavy hitters.
p.m.
I believe you. I'm gonna, jeez. That's amazing. BNI has changed a lot of people, a lot of people's lives. That's crazy. But you never know what your blessing come from. That's you're like, sure, I'll be a part of it. Shout out to everybody. Thank you. I have to put Roland is mad at me last night. Why was Roland mad at you last night? Oh, Roland Martin was mad. I was in the comments yesterday, guys. If you guys were over there, hopefully I'll be on Roland Martin a little bit more. So we got 2 minutes. Actually, this one is a little bit longer. I'm wondering if I should switch over to Instagram since we might come back over here on YouTube, y'all. Because I want to do an Instagram as well. Something you said last night, Vincent. You got to tell me some more. So YouTube fam, I'm gonna come back over here, but I think I want to cross over to Instagram and get a little Instagram live going, and then come back over on YouTube. Hey Sandy, how is going on, Sandy W? My homegirl, she's an attorney down here. She's listening. Good to see you, doll. Thank you, and she's also an author. Thank you, Rose is saying great show. Shout out to Rosie. Thank you, Rosie. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys listening. And I kind of want to do an Instagram, or maybe I'll do the Instagram when we go over there. But yay, good to see everybody. It's been a minute. I'm gonna be coming on Thursday, Friday, and hopefully Saturdays for y'all. So I know I got the monitors loud. But yeah, I feel good. I'm excited about this new season back here on the radio. I'll be doing a live remote broadcast for those of you who live South Florida. In Miramar, I'll be hosting a grand opening of a Juicy Beef, or I keep calling it Juicy Patty. It's Juicy Patty, but it's a Juicy Beef to me. But Juicy Patty, which is basically a chain or a franchise of patties, Jamaican patties here, and I'll be hosting an upcoming opening. They have several openings, but I'll be hosting one in Miramar. I think it'll be next weekend, if not the following. So I'll keep you abreast. Y'all keep following me. I appreciate the love. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all, YouTube. But I feel like I should do some Instagram. But maybe I'll wait. I'll wait and do the Instagram since we're flowing. We're flowing. So we got about 2 minutes now. And we also have, I don't know if you can see, but here's what you look like. People are watching on the app.
Oh, nice.
Rose is saying I should be
Can I
sucking
get
in my
that,
stomach.
or,
I think you can get the audio. I don't know about the video.
Okay. That's a
I will
perfect
ask, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
I will ask Miss Lisa.
Is it stream? That stream?
This people are watching it now.
Oh, really?
On voiceofcambrian.com. So a lot of people are there. You can also tell, I can show you the chart after of how many hundred thousands of people are listening.
100. Don't get me nervous.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like whenever I look it up, and every time my show come on, the numbers go up. I'm just saying. So when I look at that, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, that's pretty cool.
Let's go.
So yeah, this radio thing is a very interesting game. But yeah, this one, the way it's flipping back to different views is how they're seeing it online.
Cool.
So, but I think the audio for sure. I can ask Miss Lisa to strip, but I don't know about the video. I have to ask Miss Chin if this comes through. But yeah, the audio for
Do they
sure.
have archives of shows or no?
I do. I have stuff.
Video archives?
Not video. I've only asked ever for the audios, so I've seen it, but I've heard it, but I've never seen it. So I can ask her. I can ask her if that. I'm getting a little bit of yeah. We're almost back from commercials, guys. Don't worry. I have to save my battery. And yeah, it's pretty cool how the setup is going, and I can play music if I wanted to and other things. When the DJs come, they use this to mix, all that good stuff. But yeah, I've learned a lot. It's almost been almost a year. It's kind of crazy. All right, here we go.
Yeah, man, I love it culture. Say, we're representing for the voice of the Caribbean, Jamaica and far beyond.
WQPN 94.3 LPFM, North Miami. WQPN 94.3 LPFM, North Miami.
Drop them back like mad. In a while, me no call one layman. Tell them that
platinum. Cause Jaja bless the youth. Just love the girls, them need this. When me love them, share.
WTPN LPFM, the voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, everybody. Welcome back. It's Suzette Speaks Show Live. Big up to my fam watching me on the YouTube side. Big up to the people watching on the app. You guys listening out there in Radio Land. We are appreciative of your support. You know, this is a radio station for the community, by the community, and we are here with one of our outstanding community members. Yes, South Florida, as I stated, we have a lot of talent here who are unsung, and we wanted to bring them to you. I know everybody want me to talk about the politics. Don't worry, I'm going to lay it on y'all tomorrow. I will do my recap of the inauguration, etc., and some of the crazy stuff that's happening. But for today, I had to take a breath. We say today, this year is about self-care as well. You guys know we're always heavy into the politics, into the headline news and all that stuff. You know, I'm going to break it down for you. But I also wanted to bring things that can edify your spirit. Shout out to Rose Online. Say she just bought a book. Look at people. Look at people. Support, y'all. Support. This is what we're talking about. Author Leighton O. Campbell. I like the way you have to put the O because there's a lot of Leighton Campbells out on the streets. When I was trying to tag him this morning on everything when I posted, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of
Leighton Campbell.
I was like, LinkedIn, please add me and connect me so I can find the right one, because I was literally like, okay, maybe I can't tag him right now, but I'll go back and tag him on later. But he's an author, y'all. He's a businessman. He's a father. He's a traveler. He is a student of life, and he has come on today introducing a wonderful topic of which he's written on happiness. So we're talking about happiness, and happiness, we've defined it. If you're just joining us, hey, y'all got to get the replay. Follow me on all other, Wagwan Andrew, I see you online. But you got to get it on the other platforms, yeah? So we are going to keep the conversation moving. He is, again, author of a book called Your Happiness Equation, right? Your Happiness Equation. But the website is yourhappinesseq.com. Shout out to Rose for buying a book. You know what it is. We appreciate the support. All the listeners can check out yourhappinesseq.com, because happiness is a real thing that we are trying to explore today. And he has done the research. He's told us about his kids, giving him the inspiration. Let me tell you, inspiration can come from anywhere, y'all. So we don't take it lightly when the divine one gives you an idea, help me, oh God, and wants you to go forward with it. Sometimes we play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. It is for others to edify, to open them up to new understanding about themselves, about life. And that's just what he's done. He has a book launch coming up February. It's only invite only, y'all. I'm not going to put it out there. Sorry. But he also did a book tour. Tell us about the book tour real quick before we get back into the book. What happened on the book tour?
So the book tour is very, very interesting. Again, I'm not an extrovert. I guess I'd be more of an ambivert, leaning towards introvert. Okay. But I've written a book before. This is actually not my first book.
Oh, excuse me.
This is my second book.
Dang.
And I learned a lot in my first book. And my first book was not successful. Just putting it out there. But I learned a lot in that process. And I was like, if I'm going to do this again, I want to make it successful. And one of the big things I learned is that a lot of authors, when they write a book, they upload it to Amazon or wherever, and they just expect the sales to come rolling in.
No.
And that's not how it works.
You got to promote. Says the marketing and PR diva, Suzette Speaks, baby. I'll help you put your business out there. But yeah, no, this is real. So you got to move. You have to move the needle. The needle don't move by itself.
Exactly. So one of the goals for the project, of course, the main thing is to help people. There's a lot of levels to this project, and some very, very deep. But one of the levels also is to get the title of best-selling author, which, based off of the update to Amazon, I should get that.
Okay.
So, but one of the things for getting New York Times best-selling author is that your sales need to come from a diverse geographic location. So if all my sales come from Broward County, I could have a lot of sales and still
it's
not
just
really,
there, South Florida only. Yeah.
So I wanted to get out and talk to people who have no idea who I am, what this is about or anything, and just introduce myself to them, tell them about the project, and so on. So what we did is, B and I had a role in this process. So what we did is we drove from Miami to Michigan, so miles away from the Canadian border. We stopped at every major city along the way. We went to the largest B&I chapter in that city for the morning and their afternoon meetings, and then after that we went to the largest college in that town, and then we did what we call man or woman on the street interviews, where we just set up our camera. So my brother David, also a UF alumni, shout out to David Campbell.
Hey.
He was my videographer and photographer. Set up the camera, mic'd up, and then we would just pull people as they were walking by and ask them if they want to do a quick quiz on camera. And just like everything in life, a lot of people wanted nothing to do with me, but we got many who said yes. And then we had several really deep, amazing interviews. And it actually, I came back more hopeful for our future than when I left. And I didn't go there for that. I went there for a book tour, and this can be something I can get the word out, help promote, and so on. But I left that whole experience with more hope than I went into it with.
Listen, he's an inspiration all around, y'all. This is very interesting. It is not justifying the feeling I'm getting here, because when I think about how many people, try to dismiss this younger generation as, they're washed up, they're materialistic, they are self-centered, narcissistic, those buzzwords that everybody love to say. There are people raising good kids. Let's just put it out there. Shout out to Dr. Thunder watching me on the YouTube site. Shout out everybody watching the Suzette Speaks show. What's up? Thank you, RM, also one of my moderators online. But yeah, thinking about how beautifully you just shared what is possible with what I call that the gully mentality. You don't have a lot, Caribbean people, but we look around and we say, hey, how can we build? Yeah. So the fact that you were brave enough, right, to get in your car, do your own gully, what I call a gully guide book tour style, stop where you want to stop, go where you want to go. But the other powerful part of that story was the network, the BNI chapters and beyond, and how belonging to something bigger than yourself. That has been my message since this election. We're not going political today, but people, sometimes we want to retreat into our little, sanctuaries and our little holes. And again, we, bury our heads in the sand, and we're like, it's overwhelming us. As the news slap you in the face every 20 seconds, there's something else. That's the design. And I'm gonna get into it tomorrow. Y'all better tune in tomorrow, because big up Curfton. You know Curfton?
Oh yeah, Curfton.
He's watching.
Shout out, Shout out Curfton.
Shout out Curfton watching.
You got an appointment coming up.
Listen, the Gator family is in the building. Okay. I am appreciative of Mr. Leighton O. Campbell is his name. He's an author, two-time author. Did you put that in your bio? I didn't read that in your bio.
It's on the back of the book. I'm not sure if it's
okay, I'm about to say, I do my research now. Yeah. And I did not see that this was the second book. No, this is brand new, fresh. So this is like his first book, but it's a book called Your Happiness Equation, y'all. And he has broken down components, mathematical in a sense, to happiness. Sure. And he's trying to help you get over the line. If you kind of dance between, I kind of am happy, sometimes I feel unhappy, and I am one of those people, admittedly. I know people see me as the extroverted, bubbly girl, but we all have an inner life and inner thoughts that, things challenge us wherever you are, whether you got a lot of money, a little money, whether you got a lot of friends or no friends. Everybody has their challenges. So we don't always peel back the onion or push back the curtain and let people see those challenges. Yeah. But it's good to know that everybody is human. We got a call. Hold on now. Y'all calling into the studio? Let me see who calling here. Y'all, please be respectful. This is live FM radio. I'm going to put this person on. I don't know if this is for me or for the station. Carla, you're on the line. Good afternoon.
No, with due respect to the players, I'm really feeling good about the system that is going on. But when I hear the expression of the equation and the happiness, we have to all realize that we cannot tell anyone in this world what gives them happiness or what makes them happy, because everybody is happy according to what they feel happy into or how they want to feel happy. Because when we check it out, when I look on all a suicide bomber strap on a bomb on himself and him feel happy enough to go blow himself.
Hey, yeah.
That it's nothing about book your sound nice and everything, but respect is due to everybody happiness in their own way. Because everything is everything in its own way. You understand? Apple, mango, orange, pear. So love that system, I love that book, yeah. And then with regards to the equation, because when we check out things, because I love this, I'm going at this on the street already, the street kind of thing. An equation is mostly a mathematical statement with an equal to symbol between two expressions, and that have equal values. For example, if you check it out, 3 plus 5 equals 15. You know what I say?
Yeah, Carla, y'all go deep. Y'all go deep. I'm gonna let this author respond.
So I love it.
We love you too. Thank you for the call, Carla.
General, I love you. I love your
I
king.
love you too. I love you too, man.
Boy, you still never stop.
Yeah.
we
All right.
appreciate it. All right, Carla, I'm gonna let him respond. How would you respond? Thank you so much for the call.
I actually agree with him.
Yeah,
and I incorporated that into the equation. So, there are 7 variables in the equation which I feel are universal to everyone on the planet. Things like having your basic needs met, like you're talking about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which we talk about in the book. Things about belonging to meaningful groups. Things like contributing to the groups that you belong to. Things like finding out your purpose. How are you doing towards meeting your purpose, and other components, which I argue are universal to everyone.
Yeah.
Now, to this caller, I've been at this for almost 4 years at this point.
Yes.
I've heard a lot.
Yes.
And I've heard
He's
this as well,
saying,
too.
yes, it's individualized. You can't tell another person how to be happy.
Yes.
How would you respond?
So the answer to that is, in the book, we talk about the X variable. Now, everyone has an X variable, or maybe several X variables, something that is very important to their personal happiness, but is arguably not universal. And there's a whole chapter on the book about it. So what I say to people who say, well, you didn't mention X, and this is really important to my happiness, and you left this out. What I would say to them, if X is very important to you,
count that in yours.
How are you doing on X?
Yeah.
How would you grade
so
yourself
you leave
on X?
room for that individualized component that is unique to each person.
Yes.
One person may want a family, one person may not want a family. One person may want to make a certain amount a year, other people, them can't go on with them 30, 40, 50,000 and they all right.
100%.
So it just depends on the individual. Carla, your last comment. Go ahead, sir.
Understand the component of what he says the happiness is. You understand? But it is just realistically that people, not regardless which nation, the wickedest nation on earth, the people them happy inside of them with where them want happy with it. Straight up.
We understand, yeah.
Okay? Them happy with that. But we are talking about love and happiness. We're not dealing without the other happiness. I love and joy and happiness.
Amen.
Remember the song about Marley say, happiness comes once in a while. If you don't come running to the children. You understand?
Bang, bang, bang. Okay, I got yes.
It means reveal yourself to me. Happiness come once in a while for some people, but they're still happy with where they want to be happy, you know?
I love it.
Sure.
Blessing, Carla. Thank you so much. Lynn, what do you have to say? The Carla made some excellent points here.
Yeah.
And as you said, you accounted for that in your book. There are individualized points for happiness, it depends on the person, but everybody don't have the same thing. But you say you start the equation with some basic, what you call universals.
Yeah, so I would argue that the 7 variables are universal, but then everyone has their own. Not everyone. Some people, just the universal variables cover them, and they agree. Like, yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. A lot of people say that, but then a lot of people say, well, what about X? The other thing about the equation is, this is not, scientific mathematical facts here. We're not talking about laws of science here. What we're talking about are people who want to improve on their happiness and they don't know where to start. So what this does, it gives them a place to start. You take a quiz. It asks you about things that you may not have thought about in a while, or maybe have never thought about, and it asks you, how are you doing in that particular area? And then if after taking the quiz, someone says, you know what, I really thought I would have done higher in my gratitude, I think that's something I should focus on. Now, someone can tell me that is a harm to humanity, but I would say, if people are thinking about things like this, how can it hurt?
No, I definitely think our caller is well intentioned and just trying to describe what he sees is his thesis that there are people who do evil and they find happiness in evil. But what we're talking about, as the caller chanted there at the end, we're talking about love and elevation. We're talking about happiness in the sense of coming from a moral center, but also individualized in a sense where, again, there are things that one person may enjoy or call essential to their happiness that another person may not enjoy. Sure. But as he describes, and again, this is for people who might be struggling for their happiness. This book is quite complex, so I don't want you to kind of make any more presumptions about it. You might have to read it for yourself. Again, you can get it at Your Happiness EQ. Again, the name of the book is Your Happiness Equation, but you can find it on Amazon, Your Happiness Equation by Leighton O. Campbell, and you can also find it on his own website, yourhappinesseq.com. We're here talking about happiness with author Leighton O. Campbell. Follow him. Follow Your Happiness Equation on Instagram, or Your Happiness EQ on Instagram. I did that today as well, just checking him out. And he's going to be about town, making sure that other people get the opportunity to find happiness. I think this is just a wonderfully simplistic but yet needed subject matter. So some of your biggest takeaways, we have about 7-8 minutes, and I want to make sure folks who are listening, can walk away with something that can improve their lives. Give us some tidbits. What some takeaways?
So one of the things I think is very important is community. Is if a person finds themselves without a meaningful community that they belong to. And what I'm talking about are people, like a group that they go to or they belong to, where they meet in person with the members of the group, and they have a chance to be in person, be in their presence, and experience the benefits and all that come from that. I think that's very important. Now, if that's lacking in someone's life, I would encourage people to find a group. Now, once you found a group, that doesn't mean you've crossed the finish line. There are no finish lines in life. Once you've found a group, you need to become a valuable member to that group. Because a lot of people think, oh, I need to find community. They go find a group and they just sit down on a corner, sit down on the wall and do nothing. And that's not what it's about. It's about adding value to the people that are in the group and the group at large. So that's something,
I think that's such a powerful position to take in life. People are, I think, because we become social media eyes and this stay at home, not go anywhere, don't want to go out on a date, don't want to go for a drink with a friend or even just hang out. You don't want to leave your house. You can Netflix all weekend. I've done it. Hello. You can sit in your house and you don't want to interact with other people. It definitely plays into the decrease of happiness. If you ask people, you ask the Surgeon General or the former Surgeon General under the Biden administration, he says loneliness is one of the biggest health epidemics. People are not happy because they don't belong to nothing. First time everybody was in a house of worship. Sure. Whatever you were, Christian, Muslim, Jew, Gentile, whatever, you had a house of worship. Now we're seeing decreases in people that are going regularly to church and other places. So the belonging piece, if it's even, you know who some of the happiest people I see? My homeboys that play soccer, play football on the weekend. And it's something they look forward to. They are belonging to a group. And they essentially have I call an extended family. There's also information that's been written about what we call the third place, where you spend the most time, your first place, your second place, but there was always a third place. Post-pandemic, we have lost that third place. Your coffee shop around the corner, your bookstore, the park, your gym, wherever you go, that people become familiar enough with you that, people will ask about you. People will know if you're missing. Yeah. I cannot believe it. We only have about 5 minutes, so I want to make sure I watch this time because I could get carried away. I'm here with author Leighton O. Campbell. His new book, or not new to us, book called Your Happiness Equation. You can find more information at yourhappinesseq.com. Again, we're talking happiness from the inside out, not a fleeting emotion. And you talked about the book tour, those memorable interviews with people. Can you quote us or tell us about some of the most memorable, or one of the most memorable interviews you had, where you talked about going to college campuses all the way to Michigan from Florida, and you said it gave you hope. Yeah. Tell us about one of the most memorable interactions you had when you were questioning people about happiness.
Sure. So this happened at the University of Michigan campus in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Can I just say one of the most beautiful campuses? I love that campus. I've gone, when I was an undergrad, funny enough, I went to a student conference at University of Michigan. I fell in love with that campus. It was just one of the most beautiful architecturally places I just ever seen. But yes, so you go up
Yeah,
there.
and we went there at the height of fall. So the fall
Ooh,
and
so
the camp,
pretty.
it just blew me away. It also happened to be my birthday that day. So I was away from my family. My brother was with me, but I was away from my wife and kids and whatnot. I was out doing this book tour because it's something that had to be done on that time schedule. So I met a young man. His name was Avian. He was 17 years old. His birthday was the next day, so we're like one day apart from each other, and just talking to him about like his purpose, like he had an answer of what he felt he was put on this earth to do, and he spoke with
A
passion.
college
and
student.
a
Wow.
freshman who was 17,
Wow.
and he wasn't the only one. I met awesome people everywhere, but it gave me like, man, our next generation, we have
They got some
studs
good stuff
coming up.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not all the bad things that you hear on
Yeah, and social media want to tell you that everybody's reckless and crazy and
stuff. There's a lot of them that are doing really
so
good things.
you found people, and again, there are 7 pieces to the puzzle. It sound like
7 variables.
there are 7 variables in the equation that he's giving you. And again, this is good food for thought. We want you guys to be happy. This is why we brought him on. We know that in this time, with all the news going on, it's essential to find inner peace and inner happiness. I am working towards that myself. As God is calling me, help me, God, in these spaces where I'm going to have to speak truth to power. It's making me very nervous what I'll have to say tomorrow when I get on this show and we talk all politics. Make sure you tune in tomorrow because I got to go in. I got to go hard. Hopefully these people don't come after me, but I'm going to have to do what I have to do. Right. So in anything that you're called to do and you're not doing, part of the equation, belonging to a group. Yeah, we're giving you some of the variables. I hope you're catching them. Is making sure you're belonging to something bigger than yourself and contributing in that environment. Any one last tip? We got about a minute left because I'm looking at a lot of folks online. Thank you to those watching on the app and those watching on the Suzette Speaks YouTube. You can follow me 1Z2T Suzette Speaks with an S on all platforms, and you can always follow all of the family here at Voice of the Caribbean at thevoiceofthecaribbean.com, and of course our app is available in the App Store. Take us wherever you go. So last takeaway before we head on out.
What I would say is you need to prepare for the things that are inevitable in life. Don't let life tragedies catch you unaware. Like there's certain things that happen to everyone, and you need to prepare for that, and that will help you protect your happiness. So I go into more detail in the book, but yeah.
Give me one example. We could have done a whole show on that. Prepare. Give me one example of what you mean.
Yeah. So one of the things you can do to prepare is understand that you have an obligation to find the good when something bad happens. Because if you don't do that, what the perspective you have on your life is gonna be, this bad thing happened to me, then this bad thing happened, and then this bad thing, and then your life is just a string of bad things that have happened to you. But if you can find the good in something that has happened that was bad, then you reframe that completely, and you see your life in a completely different way. I can go through the things I've been through. They've been crazy, but I see my life as being really good.
Let's take a breath, y'all. We have done some work today. I hope you have found value in this exchange. I know I have. I have to get this book because I think there are so many people like myself. Again, we're teetering on is it an emotional happiness? Is it something that can I sustain it? But the mindset piece and how we are in our perspectives, describing what is happening to us, describing an experience, relating to an experience to us. You guys, we're out of time. I'm gonna have to do a YouTube OT. I'm gonna try to go on YouTube and do some overtime, and on my Instagram live. I want to shout out Mr. Leighton O'Campbell. Y'all clap him, clap him, clap him, clap. Okay, no flap trap. Clap, 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 clap. Y'all know how it go. Suzette Speaks. I'm not a DJ. I'm just a host. I like to speak truth to power. And I appreciate him coming over to the show to give you guys these nuggets. You guys, I'll be here tomorrow, every Thursday, Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. We got to go. Love y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Leighton.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Flow Jam Legal provides legal services in areas of immigration, family law, Jamaica.
Awesome. Let's see if Miss Chin is here. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to sign off right now. And I'll see y'all soon. Thank you.
Avenue, Suite 406 in Fort Lauderdale,
If I can get this
and
to go off.
4727 North
All right, yours
University
can off.
Drive.